Welcome to the Let's Talk Paralegal podcast, where the legal industry gets real. I'm your host, Eda Rosa, legal consultant, speaker, and founder of Eda Rosa LLC and the Limitless Paralegal Academy. This isn't your stuffy legal studies school lecture. We're talking mindset, money, modern workflows, and how to build a career and a life you don't need a vacation from. Let's cut the fluff, raise the bar, and change the game one conversation at a time. If you like what you hear, feel free to share and send us your feedback. Now let's talk paralegal. Welcome back to the Let's Talk Paralegal podcast. In today's episode is personal. Let's talk about something we all feel but rarely say out loud, the desire to pivot. That quiet voice inside that says, there's more for me than this. Maybe your role doesn't align anymore. Maybe you've been dreaming or teaching, freelancing, starting your own firm, or simply feeling like yourself again. But then the doubt creeps in. What if I mess up? What will people think? Shouldn't I be grateful for what I have? Here's the truth. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to grow beyond the boxes you were handed when you started this career. So if you've been waiting for a permission slip, consider this episode signed, sealed, and delivered. Listen in for more. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Let's Talk Paralegal podcast. This episode is your love letter to the legal professionals at a crossroad. Those who feel the nudge to pivot, but feel guilty, scared, or unsure, whether it's changing roles, industries, or identities. This conversation validates that wanting more doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you, aware. So we're going to go and dive into this a little more. And the reason why I called this permission to pivot and why it's okay to want more is because this is not, we often feel like we have to wait. We have to wait for permission. We have to wait for opportunities, and we have to wait for blah, 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 blah. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's not true. We create our opportunities. We provide our own permission. Like, who is telling us this, and where did we get this information? Because one, it's outdated, and two, it's just not true. And the reason why this is not true is because I want you to start focusing on, okay, what does that look like for me? What is it really that I want? And I want you to do this simple, exercise. When I was talking to one of the therapists that I'm doing I'm interviewing a lot of therapists and a lot of professionals for our book that's coming out and launching in October, Silent Burdens. And she told me that one of the exercises that she uses, and I'll be mentioning this exercise throughout this season because it's a very powerful one, and you'll hear it in the next couple of episodes, or you've already heard it. And the exercise is basically listing your priorities, right? It could be 10, 12, 15, 20, whatever it is, but you'll often notice that you're not on there. And when I ask people on the podcast, or when I meet them, when I'm networking, when I'm creating, when I'm collaborating, or I'm partnering with someone, when I ask them, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you? They immediately start talking about what I call societal labels, right? So if you're a parent, that's a societal label. That is a role you play to that particular human being. A spouse, same thing. A legal professional, that's your trait. That's not even, yes, it's a part of you, but it's not you, right? You can change your careers tomorrow and it wouldn't be you. So, I find it really intriguing and very curious that nobody tells me what I would typically say now that I'm learning this, and I'm learning about emotional intelligence, and I'm studying more about the human brain, just so you guys can have a really interesting read, and also kind of join me in that journey. Um, I'm learning that not a lot of people say, well, I'm confident, I'm bold, I'm fearless, I'm fierce, I'm strong, I'm dedicated, I'm motivated, I'm ambitious, and music just makes me feel alive. You imagine if you came up to me and I told you that, and I said, and you asked me, hey, so tell me a little bit about yourself, or you're in an interview and that's what you say, I'm fearless, I'm strong, I'm dedicated, they would look at you like you had two heads. But honestly, we don't think about that. We don't think about who we are as the human, who we are before we have to take on all this responsibility, right? Before we have these, to-dos and these task lists and all the things that come in with the beauty of just living in a active society. And although it is a privilege to wake up with health and wake up loved and surrounded by human beings that truly support you and love you. And if you're not waking up to that environment, that's probably the number one thing you need to change. But you need to start understanding that this is what a priority looks like. If you need that cup of coffee, that tea, that matcha, that, whatever it is in the morning, if you need 5 to 10 minutes to just silence, if you just need to breathe, whatever it is that you as the human being need before you start playing the roles and participating in society, by all means do it. Nobody's telling you not to. I have to wake up early so that I can do that and carve time when the children are in school. While they're in school, I have to cut out and carve time from my career, my professional job, to do personal, what I need, whether it's yoga, Pilates, meditating, or a combination of all three, whether it's a leisure walk around the neighborhood or the community, whether it's riding my bike, whether it's taking a jog, whatever the case may be, whatever that looks like for me. And it differs day by day, mostly dependent on my mood, if I had enough sleep and all the other elements and factors that we need to take into consideration when we're feeling a certain type of way. It really depends, right? So it looks different. It shows up different. But I always block time in my day. My power hour is usually anywhere from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. That's really where my brain just starts going, right? Where my creativity just starts flowing out. So that's really when I carve the time to do it, whether it's a little dance in the morning to get me going, because I love music. I did describe myself in the beginning, or if it's just a silence, maybe I need silence, which is complete opposite, but all part of me, right? I can sit in silence and enjoy silence for whatever allotted time, or I can be loud and destroy a song on the dance floor. So it's all of me, right? It's all different parts of me. So you need to start reflecting on that. And we need to start doing that through personal reflection. I've pivoted more times than my resume admits, and every time it brought me closer to alignment. It brought me closer to peace. It brought me closer to love. Whatever you want to call that feeling, that emotion, that sense of security or stabilism, or whatever it is that you are looking for. Whatever that drive is, motivation, ambition, whatever that looks like and shows up in your world, own it. Be aware of it. You need to set the tone, right? This episode is about permission. It's about honesty. It's about expansion. And dare I say, about limitless, right? We want to tap into that limitless potential. So what does the pivot look like, right? What does that look like in real life? Because, okay, Eda, this sounds great. And yes, I know you've walked the walk and you talk the talk and you're living your truth and you're striving for it and you've succeeded and you're launching all these things, and kudos for you. But my life is a lot different. I don't have what you have, or I show up differently. And that's perfectly okay. And that's perfectly fine. But you need to start taking a hard look at yourself. Whether that's leaving the litigation for policy work, whether that's going freelance and building your own business, whether that's moving from a law firm to maybe tech or legal operations or notaries or court reporting or something else in the legal sector, whether that's scaling a side hustle into a consulting business, hello, Limitless family, or simply asking, is this still what I want? Do I thrive in what I'm doing? If so, how can I make myself feel confident and happier each and every day? If not, what is it that I need? What is it that I want? And what can I do in order to achieve that? Why we resist it. It's a lot. And if you've heard the first episode of this season, I kind of really dug into it, but I'm going to kind of come at it in a different way so it doesn't sound like the same episode. So, guilt. I should be grateful. But I need to do this because I have a responsibility for my family, my children, my friends, my community, whatever it is, XYZ. I should be grateful because I'm alive and I'm healthy. Not many people have what I have. Identity crisis. Who am I without this title? Who am I if I don't do this? If I am not that people pleaser, or if I don't put other people before me? Who am I? Fear of judgment. What will they say? What would they think of me? How dare I? Lack of clarity. But what would I even do instead? And these are all solid questions. They're all solid concerns. And I get it. And I've been there and I've done that, which is why I highlighted these 4, which is guilt, identity crisis, fear of judgment, and lack of clarity. As you'll hear in the prior episodes, you'll hear Lauren Fernandez say something, and I'm going to quote her in this episode. The legal industry attracts people pleasers and type A personalities because those are the 2 traits that the legal industry needs in order to achieve certain goals. But that is not who you need to be in order to achieve your goals. In order to be productive, effective, efficient, in order to get that promotion, in order to pivot, in order to build your brand, in order to build an empire, in order to make more money, in order to stay within your realm, but still make money, make more money than you ever. That's not who you need to be. You need to be the person that you're striving to be today, not tomorrow, not later on, now. Signs it's time to pivot. Sunday scaries every week. Sunday comes along, your anxiety goes up. You're like, oh my goodness, what do you mean the weekend's over? This is crazy. Tomorrow I have all these things to do, and I was working and I'm staying up at night and I don't know what to do. And this case is driving me insane. This client is just being difficult and not understanding. Envy. When you see someone else doing something bold or something that you want to do, kind of like what I just explained. But Eda, you're in a different realm. You've been there, done that. You're way past this. Yeah, but I was there. But I fought my way to the tables. What do you think? I was just handed this opportunity? Absolutely not. I didn't see the table. I was never even thought of at the table. I was never invited to the table. So guess what? I built it. I built my own table. I built my own platform, and I fought and clawed my way to where I am today. I built a strong team. I attracted a strong support system in my personal life because I am a mother and I do have that responsibility, but I have my responsibility and my passion at my job as well. And they're both equally as important to me. And no one is going to get in my way to achieve what I want to achieve. That's not just being bold. That's being trust. I trust myself. I trust my ability. I trust my skills. I trust my ambition. Another sign would be feeling numb or invisible in your role. Nobody's paying attention. Who cares? Nobody cares. Even if I work hard, do all the things, I will never be seen or heard. That's not true. Are you talking about it? Are you requesting meetings? Are you speaking up at meetings? Are you saying there's a better way? Are you saying, hey, listen, this is a constant mistake. Maybe this is a solution for that mistake. I've done the research. Here's the facts. Here's the backup. Are you? Constantly saying, someday. I hear this all the time, especially with the paralegal coaches and the paralegals that I coach. One day I'll launch that new product. And that was me, guys. That was me. It took me 3 years to launch what is now the Limitless Paralegal Academy. It took me 3 years to realize, after 3 events for the Limitless Paralegal Tour, that it was time to actually tour. It was just one event every single year, and every year it grew stronger. The people got more motivated and empowered, and I saw the aha moments in person, which, guys, I can't even describe that moment for you. March 2025 Limitless Paralegal event changed my trajectory, changed me, changed my brand. I was going to cancel it. I was no longer going to do Limitless Paralegal, ever. I said, I'm done. It's too much work. It's not bringing value. I don't see the change. I don't see the power. And then March 2025 came along. I was able to have the blessing of having my children there, my mother there, my best friend, my son's godmother volunteer for this event. And the day after, I kid you not, my LinkedIn, my Instagram, my inbox blew up. Everybody wanted to be a part of it. Everybody wanted to support it. Everybody wanted to sponsor it. And I was like, wait, this was going to be my last one. What are you guys talking about? So sometimes what we think is not working, what we think there's no traction, we just got to give it time. It took 3 years for me to get to that point. But I never gave up. Halfway I did. But the people didn't give up on me. My support team didn't give up on me. My network didn't give up on me. You listening definitely didn't give up on me. We're going on 5 years now, thanks to you guys. So that someday became today, became June 6th of 2025. Another pivotal moment in my year. The day I officially launched my passion project, my Limitless Paralegal Academy, because I saw a gap that needed to be filled. You don't need a 10-step plan. You just need one step, which is action. You need to take that leap of faith. And most of the time, that leap of faith is you. You need to ask yourself, what am I curious about? What ignites my passion? What brings life? And I'm constantly reminded of this concept of curiosity through my children, especially my 7-year-old. He's always asking questions way out of context. We're probably doing one thing and then he starts asking questions about a completely other thing. And at first I found it pretty annoying because I'm an analytical, logical, kind of, straightforward person. And especially when I think, I need to stay on task and I need to stay on the same topic in order to be more effective, efficient, and productive. And I train our staff and I train the law firm staff and everybody to be this way because you're more likely to be productive and efficient when you actually gulp in tasks, bulk them together, especially if there's similar tasks, like, for example, drafting a notice of hearing. If you have 5 notices of hearing to draft, well, then draft all 5. Don't hop from one case to another. It helps us. Multitasking reduces our productivity by 40%. Scientists, everybody agrees on this. There's plenty of research out there. Do it yourself. But when it comes to curiosity, when it comes to exploring, when it comes to next steps, pivoting, evolving, transitioning, growing, learning, it's different. We can't just bulk our feelings. We can't just feel all the feels at once, because honestly, when we're sad, we're also most likely grieving, hurting, and we're also exploring. Well, what can I do to get out of this? So it's not just one emotion that we're feeling. It's a influx of emotions. So when we're curious, we're focusing on what is happening. What can I do better? How can I be better in my own self? And that will naturally translate through your team members, through your family members. Because the more you grow, the more you take in solid information, the more opportunities you create. We're not about taking opportunities. We're about creating those opportunities. I didn't randomly just stumble in CleoCon. That was a 2-3 year trajectory of applying and understanding the platform and really crafting my proposal to fit their platform. You take a course, you shadow someone, maybe have a cup of coffee with a stranger in your dream role. This is that one step for you. This is the action that's needed. Research is great, but it's not a step. You're just researching. You're not doing anything about it. Understand that this is what you can do to take that one step. If you needed someone to give you permission to want more, to pivot, or even redefine your path, this is it. This is your permission slip. And guess what? You're allowed to sign it yourself. That's it for today, guys. Until justice is served, I'll be here. Bye.